Hi my angels, it's Hailey, Reese, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are here, and I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. You guys, today's video is one that I am so excited to dive into with you guys. I've actually wanted to cover this particular creepypasta and case for quite some time now, but recently there's kind of been an increase in requests for me to dive into this, and that is the show Candle Cove. It is what's said to be a very unsettling show from the 70s that a mass amount of people seem to believe they saw in their childhood. But it seems as though the show never truly existed. Like though they all share the same vivid memories of the terrifying characters and the eerie plot, somehow the show didn't truly exist. And it's not just that the show didn't exist. It's that the show is believed to be cursed or have some sort of possession aspect to it, or just a paranormal aspect to it in general. There are a lot of really, really eerie theories about this show, even down to the fact that parents who had kids in the 70s have recollection of their kids looking at a static TV saying they were watching Candle Cove. So we've got a lot to discuss in today's video. Before we get into today's video though, I would very quickly like to thank today's video sponsor, Function of Beauty. Now, if you guys have been on my channel for a while, you guys would know that this is not my first time partnering up with Function of Beauty, and I absolutely love them. Everyone's hair is unique and different, and that's one thing that I love most about Function of Beauty. You're able to take their online quiz and outline your hair type, your hair goals, and then in the end, get a product made for you. Like for an example, my hair is really dry, and so I look for moisture, and I also want my hair to grow and fix split ends and just be overall healthy. And I love that what I get from Function of Beauty is catered directly towards that. Not only is it customizable down to the name on the bottle, but there's no parabens, no sulfates, GMOs, or toxins, and it's 100% vegan and cruelty-free. So if you guys want to get 20% off of your first set, make sure you click the link down in my description box. Trust me, you will not regret it. Your hair will thank you. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much to Function of Beauty for sponsoring this video, and let's get into a darker subject matter. Alright, so we've all kind of heard of cases where different individuals or different groups of people have a specific memory from their childhood or their past that is contrary to the memories of other people from that time frame. I think a lot of us really heard about this during the phase where Mandela effects were widely talked about, and we realized that sometimes the memories that we have aren't in alignment with the memories that other people have. And instead of thinking that you're crazy, it's almost even wilder to believe that if that many people have the exact same memory, that there wouldn't be something more going on to it. But today's video is not diving into a Mandela effect, but rather a show from the 70s called Candle Cove that, as I mentioned, plenty of people believe they saw, and yet the show never existed. Now, okay, one thing that I want to say before we get into the details of this show is I have strange memories of certain shows too that I haven't been able to find like the older that I've gotten. And sometimes I think it just comes down to a mix-up in your mind when you're a child. You kind of mix together multiple shows and create a show in your head that never existed. But there's plenty of people who believe that that is not the case with Candle Cove. The creepypasta story Candle Cove was first mentioned in 2009 on author and illustrator Chris Straub's horror fiction site Iger Falls, which collected a number of creepy stories he'd written revolving around the town. Chris wanted to know if anyone had heard of this particularly odd puppet show, which is rumored to have aired for a very brief period on a local station in Erutan, Ohio in the early 70s. Candle Cove became a huge creepypasta, and before you knew it, many people were reminiscing on the lost show. The show was said to air at around 4 p.m. and have some terrifying looking plots and characters. The show seemed to be about pirates, and it followed a little girl named Janice who imagined she was friends with pirates on a ship called the Laughingstock. Every episode, though, was eerie and unsettling. While the online community continued to remember the details of the program, they began to recall some sinister figures, like One-Eyed Horace Horrible, whose handlebar mustache sat over a set of too tall teeth, and most unsettling, a skeleton in a tattered cape and top hat, calling himself the Skin Taker. The Skin Taker became the central topic of the thread, with one user noting how his jawbone seemed to move sideways instead of up and down. It's said that when Janice asked him why his jaw moved in such a manner, he said it was to grind your skin. Another eerie, unsettling character was Pirate Percy. "I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show," said one user. But that relief turned out to be short-lived after she admitted to having a nightmare in which she envisioned every one of the puppet characters screaming at the camera non-stop for the duration of an entire episode. She basically said pretty much the entire nightmare were the characters staring into the camera and just screaming for the entire 30-minute episode. But she wasn't alone. "I don't think that was a dream," responded another user. "I remember. That was an episode." Kids started having the same horrible dreams after watching this show. They all had dreams of the characters screaming at them, and even eerier, multiple children reported to their parents having seen the characters inside of their bedrooms. But here's where things get absolutely chilling, you guys. There were reports that when the children were watching Candle Cove, all that the parents saw on the TV was static. And when they would ask the kids what they were doing, they said they were watching Candle Cove. Now this led plenty of parents to believe maybe their kids just had active imaginations and they were seeing something inside of the static TV. But others think the kids were being shown things the parents weren't supposed to see. And some even believe that it's because the parents would have shut off the show if they knew what their kids were truly watching. A mother in a nursing home claimed to their child, "Because I used to think it was so strange that you said, 'I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now, Mom,' and then you would turn the TV to static and watch dead air for 30 minutes. As I mentioned though, the parents thought their kids just had active imaginations, but I'm sure if they all knew that multiple children were staring into static and watching episodes of Candle Cove, it would have raised more red flags. And even darker and eerier, when the kids would explain the episodes had a lot of nonsense, but the plots were always disturbing. The story proved so memorably chilling that hundreds of fans and creepypasta enthusiasts came forward with their own unique tales about the show. Even today, some of those people insist, despite a fair amount of proof to the contrary, that Candle Cove was a genuine program, and they remember watching it themselves. Before long, an entire subgenre of fandom had emerged, with detailed backstories about the show's origins and creators, fanfiction spin-offs, video recreations of various episodes, and artists' rendering of the show's characters. So let's talk about the screaming episode that everybody remembers. It said, as I mentioned, the screaming episode was just literally 30 minutes of the characters screaming into the camera, as the Skin Taker basically turns Janice into dust and takes her skin for his wardrobe. Basically, it said that he sews children's skin to make his clothes, which is deeply disturbing. There's a clip of what's said to be the real episode online, but that has actually been debunked. It's just like a fan-made episode using free screaming audio. And that's one thing that I want to mention. If you guys dive into it after this video and you search up the different episodes, they're just fan-made episodes and recreations. As far as we know, the show never truly existed, and if it did, as I mentioned, it disappeared without a trace. Only memory. Now, a lot of people thought that the show was actually cursed, that the reason it disappeared without a trace was because it served its purpose back in the 70s, that the parents weren't supposed to see it because the curse or the haunting was to target children, and that it was putting ideas and dark thoughts into the children's minds, causing them to have horrific dreams and even be visited by the entities. And that's why many people believe all the children saw the same things. The parents never saw it, they all had the same nightmares, and the show just vanished. However, it's all still remained a true mystery. Actually, in 2011, Crushable.com tried to get to the bottom of it and basically put all of the rumors to rest, attempting to debunk the entire thing. And they concluded that the show does not exist, that any and all evidence pointing towards the actual animations of the show are all fan-made, and that there's not a single trace online other than people's memories to point in the direction of believing that Candle Cove ever actually existed. And Chris later posted that he'd made the entire thing up, but there's still people who refuse to believe that to be true and are sure that they've watched Candle Cove, regardless of him coming out with saying it was written. So why do people still believe that they've seen the show? What does that mean, considering that it has been debunked and that the author said it was a figment of his imagination? Well, the top answer that people believe is that people are just lying. They wanted to be a part of it, they joined on, and they thought that it would be fun. There's another theory that the show may have been similar to a show back in the day, and that once he created the show online, people had memories coming back from a show that they'd seen and automatically believed it was this exact show. Therefore, they weren't lying, they did believe they saw it, but it wasn't this specific show. Then there's also the theory that it's a false memory, that upon reading the forum and learning more about it, something within their mind told them that they had in fact seen it when they never did. But of course, there are a fair amount of people who argue that they did in fact see the show, that it is real, and that there's something going on here that's supernatural or paranormal behind all of this. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Candle Cove? For me, no matter what, whether it's made up or it really is a true show that people watched, it's creepy nonetheless, and so I thought it was interesting enough to bring here on my channel and chit chat with you guys about, because I would love to know all of your thoughts and theories down in the comment section below. But that is basically it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I would just love to thank Function of Beauty for sponsoring today's video. As I mentioned, to receive 20% off of your first set, make sure you click the link down in my description. Your hair will thank you for it, and that is it for today's video. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed, but you do enjoy my videos, I would love it more than you will ever know if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, loves, do all things with kindness, and until next time, I love you.